Have a look at that start list, and there's no defending Paralympic champion Martin Braxenthaler of Germany. He's since retired from skiing after the Vancouver Games. But Josh Duke there, number 9, gold medalist in the super combined, but the para world champion is Taiki Mori of Japan, number 10. The silver medalist from Vancouver, Christoph Kunz. He's skiing at bib number 78. And the cut-off point for the athletes is Frederic Francois, number 82. And then we go in descending world ranking points, and Kalaris of Greece will conclude the first run of the men's giant slalom sitting category. So skiers going through their final preparations before they go into action. Johan Tabele taking us through his farmyard noises. The Slovenian team looking fairly relaxed at the top of the hill. The men's giant slalom sitting category about to get underway, and Roman Rabl of Austria will be the first man down this men's giant slalom slope. The course set by Falco Tetsma of the Netherlands. It's a pretty fair, flowing, technical course, but giant slalom, well, it's where they all started racing. It's the discipline they've done the most of. And Roman Rabl absolutely flying down this track. It combines the speed and technical ability. It's the hardest discipline to get right. You can ski it many, many times and never ski the perfect run. And Roman Rabl, bronze medalist in the slalom and super combined. He's setting a pretty decent pace. Now this is the toughest part of the course, on the backside of what was the late jump in the downhill, and Roman Rabl bouncing between the turns, making it look effortless, but battling all the way. Now, oh, there's a big hole there, and the men's downhill, they carry straight on. Now they've bared off to the skiers left, and this is the final pitch. They're not coming down the deer jump pitch, which is very steep and very difficult and not conducive to a good giant slalom track, but the alternative route, the men's giant slalom track from the able-bodied Olympics, is a perfect track, and Rabl has skied what seems to be a pretty decent run and stops the clock at 1:18.87. We'll have to wait and see how good that is. Caleb Brousseau of Canada next to tackle this GS course, late on that red gate, but gets it back brilliantly well, and he's late again. Oh, it's a battle for Brousseau, but he survives just. And by skiing the rounder line, he is off the pace by 1.34. Remember that the giant slalom medals are decided over 2 runs. The fastest 15 from the first run. Oh, go in reverse order in the second run, and the outrigger just catches the gate, and Brousseau spins out of the men's giant slalom. Just coming in here, he's flying nicely and just catches the rigger on the inside. In fact, the rigger hits the snow and bounces inside. He didn't place it there, it got bounced there. And well, when you're traveling as quickly as these athletes, that will definitely puts you on the snow. Seems to be okay. Now, Corey Peters of New Zealand, 4th in the World Cup standings for giant slalom. 2 second-place finishes in Threadbow at the start of the season. He backed it up with a second-place finish in Copper Mountain. Fourth in the Super Combined. Can he find that little bit extra to make it onto the podium? Inside of the finish now. 1:18.87. Corey Peters going to be close to Rabl's time. He leads by 0.77. Great run from Corey Peters. Well, we thought Roman Rabl's time looked competitive. Corey Peters has just blown it out the water. Akira Kano of Japan. He's more of a speed man than a GS man, although having said that, he was the giant slalom world silver medalist from 2009 in Pyeongchang. Gold in the downhill, gold in the Super G in Sochi. What can he do here? The one thing you know, he said he's going to put it out there. 28 years of age. And the time to beat that of Corey Peters of New Zealand, who has had a brilliant first run, and Kano just about makes it. No, he's down and out, he's pirouetted, he's still on track. Will he finish? The answer is no. So disappointment for Akira Kano, but he has 2 gold medals from these games, and the two-way radio being instigated straight away. Japan with a very strong sit-ski team. Look how low he gets. He's battling to get it back. There are 3 classes in the sit-ski category, LW 10, 11 and 12. And the next man out the gate is Thomas Nolte of Germany in the LW11 class, which is for skiers that have good abilities in their upper trunk, but very limited control in their lower trunk and hips, as it would be the case for skiers with lower spinal cord injuries. LW10 is for skiers that have minimal or no trunk stability due to spinal cord injuries or spina bifida, and they rely mainly on their arms. LW12, so that includes skiers with normal or only slightly decreased trunk function and leg impairments. In fact, some of the standing skiers in LW1 and to 4 classes can choose to start their careers as sit skiers. Now, Nolte, who was second after the slalom leg of the Super Combined but ended up finishing off the podium, is 1.84 off the pace of Corey Peters. 13th at the Vancouver Games. What can he do on this first run of this giant slalom race? Peters' time will get some test a little later on. And Nolte is third outside the time of Peters. Christopher Devlin Young of the United States of America, the oldest athlete in the Alpine skiing discipline at 52 years of age. Devlin Young skiing in the LW12 class. His 4th Winter Paralympic Games. He has been a world champion in this discipline 10 years ago. Will he be back for the second run? The answer is yes. Where will he finish? Gets the outriggers up, and he's 4th, 4.13 off the pace. Next up it's Takeshi Suzuki of Japan in the LW12-2 class. The silver medalist from the Para World Championships, a bronze medalist from the Winter Paralympics in Vancouver. The GS World Champion in 2009. He likes this discipline, but how is he faring on these rutty, bumpy turns on the backside of the late jump? Well, 2.25. He's quite a long way off the pace of Corey Peters, who seems to have set a very, very stiff time for the rest of the field. Still got a couple of interesting races to come that could push Peters close on this first run. But Peters definitely going to be there or thereabouts the start of run 2. Now, Suzuki, he's got the rhythm of this bottom half of the track, but it's not going to be enough to take the lead away from Peters. And he stops the clock 1:22.11. 4 seconds off the pace, goes into 4th place. Heath Calhoun of the United States of America. Silver and the super combined on day 7 of competition. Here he finds himself just over a second off the pace of Peters at the first intermediate time split. Now Calhoun, if he can ski this bottom section well, could give himself a chance of starting in the top 3 on run 2. Just gets bounced late in the line on the red gate. He's got it back under control pretty swiftly. Calhoun again very late on that red gate, and he's getting pushed wider and wider in the turn. It will cost him time. And he stops the clock 2.81. He is third for the time being, but there is space at the top of the leaderboard for the likes of Josh Duke, Taiki Mori and Christoph Kunz to move into. Duke, silver in the downhill, gold in the super combined. He'll be skiing. Oh, I was going to say skiing with a lot of confidence, but just caught the right edge and bounces out of the giant slalom. Let's have another look here as he comes off the pressure, catches the edge, and then he's driven into the snow. So there's to be no third medal for Josh Duke of Canada. Taiki Mori of Japan in the LW11 class, the reigning Para World Champion in this discipline. Silver in the Super G. He's won 2 races on the World Cup Tour this year. He only took part in 2, won both of them, one in Panorama in Canada, one in Copper Mountain in the United States, both of them in January. And it looks like he's just taking his time down this difficult pitch and finds himself over a second off the pace of Peters. Peters really let it fly down that pitch of the late jump. I think that's where the medals will be decided. Ski that cleanly and quickly, you've got every chance. Now, Modi in the LW11 class. How close can he get to the 1:18.10 of Corey Peters? 3 gates from home. And the answer is he's going to be outside by 1, 2, 3, 3.16 seconds. A lot of work for Mori to do. Now the World Cup leader in giant slalom, Christoph Kunz of Switzerland. Silver medalist in Vancouver, a bronze medalist at the Para World Championships in Lanolina last year. He too picking his way down the late jump. He's going to be very close. He's inside. The Swiss skier inside the time of Corey Peters at the first time check. Kunz really the last skier that is likely to challenge Corey Peters' time. How close will it be at the bottom? Kunz, can he stay high in the line here to keep the speed and keep the line? Kunz does well inside of the finish, 1:18.10. Oh, Kunz living on the edge as he comes to the line. I think he's going to be outside. He is by half a second. Corey Peters will lead the way at the start of the second run, I'm pretty sure. Christoph Kunz, a chance to give Switzerland the medal. They've had a desperately poor time of it at these Winter Paralympics in the Alpine. Is there to be redemption on day 8? Now this is Kies-Jan van der Kloester of the Netherlands. He's the sole Dutch athlete in Vancouver. This time he's got 6 more friends. All of them competing in Alpine. 17th in GS in 2010. And how is he doing here? Van der Kloester has skied out, sadly, and we didn't see why. But by the looks of things, he skied out on the backside of the lake jump, which is that very difficult technical section. Oh, here we go. He makes the... Oh no, he must have missed a gate prior to that. And that's Josh Duke. Now back up to the top, Kenji Natsumi of Japan in the LW11 class. He's more of a speed skier than a technical skier. Well, this is the toughest of all the disciplines, combining the speed and the technical turning ability. Let's see how he goes here, Natsumi. Second in Super G. Didn't finish the downhill. He's getting a little sideways on this steep pitch of the lakeside jump. And not enjoying himself, but he's made it down, which is more than some before him have done, but he's 4.17 off the pace of Corey Peters. Remember, Christoph Kunz is actually the quickest skier at that interval point, because Peters leads at the bottom of the hill. His is the time that everyone is compared to at the intermediate. And Natsume in sight of the finish. Japan now struggling a little bit in this final discipline for the men. First place Mori at 5th, and Natsume will go into 9th. 8 seconds off the pace. Now Georg Keiter of Germany, winner of the last GS on the World Cup Tour in St. Moritz before these games. Can he find the time, the pace to get in front of Corey Peters? And the answer is yes, he can. He is nearly 4/10 inside the time of New Zealand's Corey Peters. Coming into the final pitch, Keiter using his technical abilities to the best, and Peters' time of 1:18.10 could be under threat here from Georg Keiter, or has Peters done enough on the bottom part of this course to still be in the lead? It's going to be very, very close. Peters did do enough, and Keiter, well, he's over a second off the pace. He celebrated his finish, but I think when he looks at his split time, he'll wonder where he lost all that time. Now, Frédéric Francois of France, the last of the seeded skiers to go. His first Winter Paralympic Games, having missed 2010 because of a broken clavicle. He broke it in January 2010, so came very close to making it to Vancouver, but was out of action for 13 months. Came 4th in GS at the World Championships in La Molina. He was 4th in Slalom, Giant Slalom and Super G in La Molina. So on 3 occasions he just missed out on the podium. What can he do here, Francois? 1:18.10 won't be beaten, but he gets himself into 5th place, 2 seconds off the pace. Johan Taboulet of France, the next to ski. He's third Winter Paralympics. He's never picked up a medal at the Paralympics, but he has got World Championship medals. And, well, hasn't skied on the World Cup Tour this year, so we didn't have much form guide to go on, but he's done well on the top part of the track, half a second inside the time of Corey Peters. But Peters has seen off two skiers that have been quicker than him in the mid part of the race on the bottom half of the course. And will he see off Taboulet as well? Taboulet's very late in the line, and he has done. Peters obviously skis the bottom half brilliantly well. Taboulet fifth, and possibly another skier that might just look at the racing line on the bottom half of the course. French coming thick and fast now. There's four of them in a row, the third of whom is Jean-Yves Lemur, just racing the technical disciplines. And slalom probably his best one. Sadly for him, he skied out of the slalom. So what can he do here on the GS? 2 seconds off the pace. At the intermediate time. Now, Lemur. And ideally like to be within 2 seconds of the leader Corey Peters, but he's got a fine time on the bottom section, and no one's done that apart from Peters. And Jean-Yves Lemur is 3.5 seconds off the pace. He is at 9th. The fourth of the four French skiers in a row, Cyril Lemur. And just shouting to himself as he comes down that steep pitch of the lake jump. And more making sure of these bottom turns. Won't beat 1:18.10 of Peters, but he will make it into the top 15, will he? 13th, 5.28 off the pace. So France, that's all skiers down the hill, and now we have Ali Velasquez of Mexico on piste. Velasquez, 25 years of age. He needs to try and get a top 15 finish from these games if he can. And he's got 11th in Super G, and we make it a brace of them. Velasquez going nicely on these bottom turns. He's got a fair bit of speed. Can he keep the line? Yeah, he can. Now 1:18.10. How close is the Mexican? Super. Oh no! Oh dear! Almost wipes out one gate from home. 7 seconds off the pace for Velasquez. But well, it would have been a bit quicker than that had he not almost high-sided. Dietmar Dorn of Austria. He's at 4.38 off the pace. Didn't finish the giant slalom in Vancouver. The giant slalom took the Power World Championships. So here in Sochi, he's at 4.38 off the pace of Corey Peters at the first time check. And Dawn will finish, but where will he end up provisionally? And the answer is 15th. 7.23 off the pace. Now Esat Hilmi Bayendili of Turkey. He actually represented the United States of America at the 2006 Winter Paralympics, where he was 33rd in GS. Didn't get picked for the American team in 2010, so decided to go back to his roots and represent Turkey. He's the first Turkish athlete to ski at the Winter Paralympic Games. He's 8.4 seconds off the pace at the first time check, and he will be going into 17th slot. As he gets to the finish, he's going to be over 12 seconds off the pace. In fact, 13.61 seconds off the pace. Now, Yasmin Bamba of the USA, another athlete that has changed flag. He represented Serbia in Vancouver, where he was the first Serb athlete to compete at the Winter Games. Now a US citizen. He was 24 at the Para World Championships in 2011 in Sochi in giant slalom. And he's late in the line in his final turns, and that means he has to make the corrections as he comes onto the flat, so he'll carry very little speed over the line. But goes into 17th place, 8.32 off the pace. Maurizio Nicoli of Switzerland in his first Winter Paralympic Games, 37 years of age. His teammate Christoph Kunz sits in second position. Half a second off the leading time of Corey Peters of New Zealand. Now Nicoli, 6.66 off the pace of Peters at the split time, but it's all about trying to get in the top 15 now for these skiers, because the fastest 15 go in reverse order, and if they can get a higher bib draw number, then that would make conditions a little bit easier, because they will be softer in the second run, which happens later on day 8. Very late in the line on the red gate, and has to ski the long way round, and he gets over the line 18th, 11.81 off the pace in front of Bayendili. Kurt Oatway of Canada now, his first major championship. Did all 5 disciplines. 30-year-old, second downhill, 9th in Super G. Ooh, big bump there. And gets his line a little wrong over the bear's brow, but actually sets him up nice. Oh no! Not the first person. In fact, his teammate Calabruso caught his outrigger on a gate and span out, and Oatway has done the same thing. It was a little wide in the line, so try to cut this blue gate, and well, you've got no chance when you are travelling at 50, 60 miles an hour, or if you deal in kilometres an hour, sort of 90 to 100 kph. So, Christian van der Kloester at the bottom of the run, but Oatway is out of the giant slalom, and now we have Akira Taniguchi of Japan in the start hut, so that means, in my reckoning, we have a non-starter, Franz Hauptstingel of Germany. So Taniguchi he's had his best results in the technical disciplines, 6th in the giant slalom at the Power World Championships, but that was 10 years ago. That's his best major result. Race GS at Vancouver, La Molina, and he is well offline and getting bounced around because of that. It's a battle for Taniguchi, one he just about makes. 5 seconds off the pace. The intermediate time check. Now he comes into the finishing pitch and will try and get himself inside the top 15 if he can, which is Dietmar Dorn, 1:25.33. It's not going to be for Taniguchi, and he'll be outside that, so he's not making the top 15. And Taniguchi slots into 18th position. Dino Sokolovic of Croatia, the LW 12-2 class, was within a moment of history in the men's slalom race. He led after the first run by over 1.5 seconds, looking to win Croatia's first ever Winter Paralympic medal if he could complete the second run. And he skied out after 3 gates. He was very, very disappointed, as you can well imagine. Now, that was his best chance for a medal. He's 3.17 down at the first time split, so there is a chance that he could get inside the top 15. 1:25.33. He's going to be inside. Goes 14th. Holly Velasquez of Mexico. Still there inside the top 15. Now Aldrich Jelinek of the Czech Republic. Next on course. Jelinek skiing in the LW 10-1 class, but he's out on the steeps of the lake jump, and I think we're going to get ourselves another yellow flag, because Oscar Antonio Espallarga Suarez has already left the start hut. Have another look. Oh, he's just had a binding release. Shouldn't release there. Oscar Antonio Espallarga Suarez is out of the start hut, but I think the yellow flag is going to be appearing shortly. There it is, and he will have to go back up for a rerun. Now, if you're wondering why that is, it's because the athletes aren't sent off when the other one gets to the bottom. There's 2 on course at any one time, so if the first one falls or has an accident, such as the case here, then the second athlete gets the yellow flag. They're taken back up to the top. They do get a rerun. But, it's Oscar Antonio Espallarga Suarez who has to go back to the top and start cycling up all over again. So he has to go back up to the top, but importantly, Jelinek is okay. And we've had another non-starter, Stephen Lawler of the United States, who actually should have been the athlete yellow flag. That's 2 non-starters in this 60 category. So the next skier on course should be Scott Mayer. He's the next on the start list. Whether or not he materialises in the start gate, we'll wait and see. But while all this is being sorted out, we'll just have a little pause in the proceedings. It's Johan Thor Holmgren of Iceland.
Hi Olivia, hi Sarah. Say hi Mom, chocolate cake.
Hi.
Smile pretty baby.
So the American contingent get their flags waving. Scott Mayer in his first Winter Paralympic Games. Should be in the start hut ready to go once they've got the course clear. And there he is. See some ritual for the technician. I'm not sure that's going to affect his skiing, whether or not there's snow on the top of the ski. But, we're just waiting for the yellow flag to be withdrawn so we can get competition back underway. Scott Mayer, number 98, gets ready to lead the start gate in this men's giant slalom sitting category. The 40-year-old can leave the gate any time between 5 seconds before 0 and 5 seconds after. And he's off and going now. Let's have a look at this course. This is that big pan, a wide area. Fairly flattish, we're talking comparatively of course, and the setup for the Bear's Brow jump from the downhill. A very technical, rhythmical course, and Mayer very late in the line, and he's lost all his speed. He's had to get hard on that left edge to make the red gate as the Bear's Brow jump flattens out, and as a result he loses speed. Corey Peters of New Zealand leads the way from Christoph Kunz of Switzerland and Roman Rabl of Austria. That's the top three, that won't change between now and the end. And Mayer gets flipped up onto the nose of the ski and goes to ground. And he is a DNF. Got bounced on the blue gate and then just here hits a rut. And that's the problem. If you get late in the line and you're a high starter, you can get pushed up and over the ruts that have formed in the skiers before. Now, Igor Sikorski of Poland, 23 years of age. Sikorski skiing in the LW11 class, skiers that have good abilities in their upper trunks, but very limited control in their lower trunk and hips, as it would be the case skiers with lower spinal cord injuries. Sikorski, 5 seconds off the pace. Going nicely on these bottom turns, flatters into that gate, and well, we've seen a number of skiers come to grief when they get too close to the gates, as the riggers get caught. Oh no! Just gets the edge all wrong. Sikorski's down. But gets himself back up fairly quickly. And just got high-sided and then got caught back on the left edge again. Couldn't make the turn for the blue gate, but Sikorski will finish. He'll get a time because he didn't miss a gate. And the time is 1:39.26, 21 seconds off the pace. Ben Sneesby now of Great Britain, the LW12-1 class. 19 years of age, his first major championship. He's 3.95 off the pace at the first intermediate. Will pick him up quite a bit further down because of Sikorski's crash inside of the finish on this gate here. And the two races on course at any one time. Sneesby gets less airtime, but he's just made a little mistake inside of the finish, which will cost him time. But 19th, very respectable for the 19-year-old. Now another skier from Great Britain, Mick Brennan. 34 years of age, the first Paralympic Games for him. Winter Paralympics. He's returning from 2 injuries. He broke his sternum last year and is the first ex-serviceman to represent Great Britain at the Winter Paralympics. 23rd in giant slalom in the 2011 World Cup, and 3.23 off the pace at the first intermediate is not bad at all for Brennan. The question is how he does this gate here in this combination. Well, that was a lot more direct than Sneesby before him, and should get inside Sneesby's time. He goes 14th. Good ski from Brennan, inside the top 15. Rabl of Poland, the next to race. 31 years of age. Suzmic just taking it easy down the Bear's Brow and now down the lake jump. It's a very, very steep, technical, difficult part of the track. And you can see the ruts as he's bounced out of the racing line. And Suzmic, 13 seconds off the pace at the first intermediate time check. Now, Suzmic, the time to beat for him is probably his Polish teammate Igor Sikorski at 1:39.26. If he can beat that, he'll go into 24th position. But he's still a few gates from home, so it's going to be pretty close. In fact, I think he's probably going to be outside it. 1:39.26, he is outside. He goes into 25th position. Park Yong-seok of Korea, 47 years of age, and he is skiing in the LW11 class. He's 13 seconds off the pace. No, this is him coming over Bear's Brow. Excuse me, Suzmic's time. But Park very late in the line. Ooh. And again, the speed coming off the Bear's Brow. He was hanging on in. He was getting later in the line. He has to make the big correction to make the gate as the steep part flattens out, and that will cost him more time. Well, Park has come to grief on the pitch of the lake jump. Yeah, just loses the edge control and he's down into the netting, but he's okay.
5, 4.
Next it is his compatriots Lee Chi-won, because we have a non-starter in Thomas Jakobsen of Norway. And where has Lee gone to? He too has come to grief, has he? You can't see him. Oh no, here he is. Well, no, he's down again. And I think that is the end of that one for Lee. Obviously he had a mistake earlier on and bounces out, coming down the bottom of Bear's Brow. Lee Chi-won retires. He is a DNF. Seven skiers remain then in the sitting category. And Lee just being shown off the racing line, and now that he is safely off, he can resume racing. That shows you how steep that pitch is on the lake jump, as it goes down towards that reservoir that's used for artificial snow.
You go there.
That is.
Xavier Fernandez of Andorra, an ultimate skier to go. And Efthymios Kaladas of Greece will be the final skier down this giant slalom run. Enrique Plantay of Argentina, the next to go. That's why the Argentinian fans are jumping up and down. They're enjoying themselves. And here he is. His first Winter Paralympics. His only event. He gets the green light, the wanders across, and Enrique Plantay, number 106, will get action back underway in the giant slalom. Now, these opening turns across the big pan part of the track. And Plantay just getting bumped low in the line on the blue gate. And a heavy edge check as he comes over the top of Bears Brow. Very steep, but fairly short steep section. And then it opens out onto this flatter, narrow section that links Bears Brow and the lake jump. The lake jump, the backside of the lake jump, the hardest part of this men's giant slalom track. It's the steepest, it's the iciest, it's the part with the most ruts. And Plantay in Argentina takes the rounded route, trying to avoid the big ruts on the racing line, but gets bounced around. Oh, that's a brilliant turn. Brilliant left edge turn from Plantay to keep himself upright. He was heading for the nets. It was an emergency turn, and he nailed it. Now, just under 10 seconds off the pace of Corey Peters of New Zealand, our leader. It's not that time that he's interested in, really. Rafał Suzmic of Poland, 139.8 in 25th position. What can Plantay do here? Five or six gates from home now. 1:18.10, that won't be beaten. 1:39.8 is the 25th time we have. Plantay should be inside it. Oh yes, he's comfortably inside it. 1:34.37. 5 seconds, 5.5 seconds inside the time of Suzmic. He's 24. Ulrik Nyvold of Norway, the flag bearer for Norway at the opening ceremony. He's out of the start-up. This is his first major competition. 38 years of age. And Nyvold just making sure he's not going to carry too much speed onto this very, very steep section on the lake jump. And another, it's taking a very wide line. We saw Plantay get bounced down onto this red gate, but Nyvold takes an even wider line. "15 seconds off the pace, nearly 16 at the first time split." So Suzmic, Poland, 26th at the moment, 1:39.8. Remember, the fastest 15 go in reverse order, and then 16 to the end after the quickest skier in the first run. So ideally you want to be inside the top 15 if you can, but that's not going to be the case for Ulrik Nyvold. All these skiers we're seeing now going in descending world ranking. It started up at number 83. So Nyvold stops the clock in a time of 1:41.21. He's 1.4 seconds slower than Suzmic and slots into 27. Nikolai Shuvalov of Russia now in the LW10-2 class. His first Winter Paralympic Games, racing the technical events. And he's onto the steep, bumpy, rutty section of the lake jump. Of course, set by Falke Petsma of the Netherlands. It's a pretty fair course, it's very rhythmical. It has some very, very difficult segments to it. But Shuvalov wants to get down and hear the crowd, his home crowd roaring in his ears. We've still got 5 to come, don't forget we've got Oscar Antonio Espialga Suarez to rerun after he was yellow flagged because of the crash to Lawler before Jelenic in fact. So Shuvalov, the time to beat 1:41.21 of Niewold. He's going to be outside it, is he? Yes, he is. Shuvalov goes 28. 23.84 off the pace, but he'll love the roar he's just been given. Galjakic of Slovenia, the next to go, LW12-1 class. The skiers with normal or only slightly decreased trunk function and leg impairments. Skiers with leg impairments in sport classes LW1-4, which is in the standing category, often also fit the sport class, so they can choose if they want to be sitting or standing in the beginning of their careers. Now Jakic taking on the lake jump and the ruts and bumps on it. He's at 20 seconds off the pace already. Looks unlikely to get in front of Shuvalov at 1:41.94. Now, will he let it flow a little bit more freely on these lower turns as we come inside the finishing pitch? Precise turns from Galjakic. And he comes up to the line. 1:18.10 comes, goes 1:41.94 has come and gone, so Jakic will go into 29th position. He's nearly 7 seconds, 8 seconds off the pace of Shuvalov, who is in 28. Johan Thor Holmgrimsson of Iceland, the next to go, the first Icelandic para-skier to compete at the Winter Paralympic Games. And here he comes into the late jump. Again, the rounded line. Speed starting to increase, but manages to get the left edge to bite to just hold him up. Now he lets it run, and he will be 23 seconds off the pace of Peters. Jakic, who currently sits in 29th, is at 20 seconds off the pace, so Holmgrimsson will slot into 30th position. And he gets to the bottom, 1:49.66. And the 150s as he comes to 5 gates from home. Now, can he get himself in under 2 minutes? He should do. And he'll stop the clock at 1:56.84, 38.74 off the pace. But for Holmgrimsson of Iceland. Xavier Fernandez now of Andorra, 41 years of age. Another flag bearer at the opening ceremony. 24th on the giant slalom in Vancouver. His best giant slalom finish in a major is 13th at the World Championships, and he's down, but not out. He's skiing a very, very high line. Now it'll be more onto the racing line. And he survived the late jump. But he's obviously been skiing quicker on the top turns than some before him, because he's still quicker at that point than, say, Jakic of Slovenia, who sits in 29th place, who didn't go to ground on his run. So Fernandez linking some good turns together. 1:56.84 the time of Holmgrensen. Jakic's time 1:49.66. And where's he going to slot in? He's going to beat Holmgrensen, but will he beat Jakic? Yes, he will. 1:47.78. He goes into 29th position. Then there were two. And they are, and we don't know which order, Efimos Calares of Greece, and then Oscar Antonio Espiarga Suarez of Spain, who's had the rerun. And when we flick back up to the top, well, there is Calares.
Kalimera.
Now, who is going next?
Let's go.
Two more skiers remain in this giant slalom run, and it's Espiarga Suarez who is the next to go. The rerun, LW12-1 class. And Espiarga Suarez is off and skiing for a second time in this men's giant slalom sitting category race. The first run of two. And he was going okay in the first run. And he was yellow flag. Just about here, a little further on. Now, a 31-year-old. That's past the point that he did last time, his first Winter Paralympic Games. He was 9th in La Molina in giant slalom. Now, how's he going to take on this late jump pitch? And the answer is he's going to give it a bash, and he's going to get down it. Good skiing from Espiarga Suarez. And he stops the clock. Well, he's just 2.88 off the pace. A really decent run here from the Spanish skier. A chance for top 15, absolutely for sure. Now, how high up can he finish? Espiarga Suarez. He's on world ranking points, unlikely to be in the top 15, but he looks like he's going to nail this. 1:18.10, he's not going to be far off it. Where is he going to slot into the finishing order? And the answer is at 1:24.07.50. He does make the top 15. He knocks Dino Sokolovic into 16th place. And Espiarga Suarez will surely be pretty happy with that. A great ski from him. Now, the last skier in this men's giant slalom sitting race is on course. Efthimios Calares of Greece, the only Greek athlete here at these Winter Paralympic Games. He actually won a silver in the discus at the Athens Summer Paralympics back in 2004. But first time he's competed on the snow. The lowest rank of all the skiers in this race. Can he get inside the time of Johan Thor Holmgrensen of 1:56.84? Well, I doubt he would have skied many steeper pitches than the one he is currently on. And With the snow warming up all the time, it will start to rut, and there is a big hole there that's just bumped him out, and there's going to be another one in a minute. Well, he's missed it, and he's through the toughest part of the course, and at the time check he is 22 seconds off the pace. Well, he's inside the time of Holmgrensen at this point. Holmgrensen 1:56.84 for Iceland, currently in 32nd, and it looks as if we're going to have 33 finishes from the 45 that started. And Kalaris of Greece now comes to within 6 gates from home. The crowd start to warm up, and Kalaris will finish. Good run from the sole Greek athlete here at these games, and he stops the clock at 1:52.77. He goes above Holmgrensen by 4.07 seconds. And they enjoyed that in the finish area. So the standings after the first run of the men's giant slalom in the sitting category. Corey Peters of New Zealand leads the way by just over half a second from Christoph Kunz of Switzerland. Roman Rabl, who has 2 bronze medals to his name already, is in third. Those three separated by just over 3/4 of a second. Georg Kreiter of Germany is in fourth, and he is just over a second off our leader, Corey Peters. 45 competitors were on the start list at the top of the mountain. We had 3 non-starters, and we had 33 finishers, 9 non-finishers, and 33 will go again in the second run. The top 15 in reverse order, and then 16 to 33. So the men's giant slalom sitting category is set up nicely for a great finish here. Can Corey Peters win New Zealand's first medals of these Winter Paralympic Games? Well, we'll find out shortly. So there we go, the halfway points of the men's giant slalom in all 3 categories.